Good evening, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for participating in our election forum for the year 2024 for our new boards that are going to be board members that are going to be joining us next year. My name is Mike. I'm a co-VP for Singapore Southeast Asia subchapter. Karina couldn't be here this evening because she's on assignment. She was on a business trip to Europe. I will be a solo moderator for tonight. For this forum is an opportunity for all of the candidates to introduce themselves and telling us what's inspired them to apply for the role and what would they do if they took this role that they decided. With that, I'm going to again, just to tell about that, just to give you guys some rules again, since we have a lot of candidates here, so I would suggest that, is everybody could just keep your statement within 3 to 4 minutes max. So we could have about 20 minutes for anybody to have, Q&As, so that we can have some questions from the audience. With that, I'm going to start with the first role, which is going to be a brand new role. Finally, we're going to have the Nepal subchapters, and I am very excited to have the our candidates from Nepal here. First, I would like to ask if I could pronounce your name correctly, as Ranich.
Yeah, Rajneesh. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Mike.
So we need to give a statement.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. Like it's really an honor to be here, and like we are starting, and we're quite excited, like you guys are. And we really kicked off the Nepal subchapter, and also we did a program, a panel on the Nepal JNG uprising as well. So my name is Rajneesh. And along with Pravesh, my friend, we would like to serve as co-vice presidents for Nepal subchapter. Earlier this year, after the NTRICON, Pravesh and I initiated Nepal subchapter. It's really an incredible journey, and we're really grateful to Jella and everyone at AAJ, Asia, Jills, Holly, and everyone out there. My connection with AJ runs deep. Like I completed the executive leadership program in 2021, following the launch of Nepal Investigative Multimedia Journalism Network in 2020. I'm the founder and chief editor at the Nepal Investigative Multimedia Journalism Network. We train journalists. We also produce investigative stories. We are a member of GIJN, partner with OCCRP and Asian Dispatch. We produce high quality investigative stories out here, and the ELPU has been very instrumental in shaping my leadership journey. I have attended two and three cons, and each time I've been really inspired by the AJ's commitment to journalistic excellence. Being part of the AJ Asia Google Training Network, I've been able to train hundreds of journalists in Nepal and also in South Asia. And with Pravesh, we really want to serve Asia community in Nepal and also in Asia as co-vice presidents of Nepal subchapter. We aim to strengthen Asia's Nepal subchapter by organizing programs that facilitate networking and share journalism best practices across Asia with our Nepali colleagues. And I've seen a lot of excitement among Nepali colleagues out here. We want to strengthen and build that and support more journalists, more young journalists to do more ethical and professional journalism. I think that's from me, Mike.
All right, thank you so much. I also would like to ask Prabesh to also give a statement.
Thank you, Mike. As Rajni said, almost everything he clearly mentioned. Thank you, Rajnish, for that. Uh, it's really exciting moment to all of us. We have just initiated new chapter in Nepal, and I've been the part of AAJA Asia for several years, and I've been involved in the several initiative, including I've been the trainer for uh, Google News Initiative Network, and I am so proud to train more than 650 journalist fellows in Nepal as a part of this program. So it's really exciting moment. It's not a big team now. We are around 10 to 15 members. It's quite interested to be a part of global initiation of AAJA, and there is a kind of very positive, inspirations, and so we all are in the same commitment to establish new chapter, vibrant chapter, and utilize it as a platform to learn, exchange ideas, and collaborate with the global networks. That is, and I would be pleased to serve as a co-vice for the coming tuner. And I would like to request all the members of AJ to vote us. That's all for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, I would like to invite Regina. This is also a new role that for the first time that we're going to have finally the Philippines subchapters, and Regina is also the first candidate for this role. So please give us a statement.
Evidently, I am also the only candidate, and thank you for that heart, Nana. Nana and uh Rajneesh were in my ELP class in what year was that? 20, oh my gosh, it was so long ago. 2021.
2021.
That's it. Thank you so much. You look great with the new hair. So yes, obviously I'm a familiar face to many of you. I am the longest serving board member of AAJA-Asia in the Philippines. I got involved with AAJA back in maybe 2010, 2011 when I was doing grad school in New York. And then when I moved back to Asia, Juan at some point reeled me back in and decided, I should be more active with the group, for which I've, truly enjoyed. As Mike said, there is, the way you described it, this has been a long time coming. There has long been a push for a Philippines subchapter, and there has always been a big case for it. The reason that I've come across as quite reticent in previous years about starting a local subchapter is because I'm also fully maxed out, right? I'm stretched thin as well, between my day-to-day job, all the other my kids, all the other bits and bobs that I have in my life. But at this point in time, I would say that we basically have no more excuse, given that National has, given us the subsidized membership rates. So I feel like now would be, yeah. So at this point, we really need to get this chapter going already, especially given the momentum that we've had at EntryCon in the last maybe 2 or 3 years in terms of growing interest from a Philippines contingent. So in my head, the value proposition of AAJA-Asia in the Philippines is very clear. I, as a VP here, if I were to be elected VP, a commitment is to connecting Filipino journalists with regional and global peers, which is obviously at the heart of AAJ's mission. At this point in my career, I'm no spring chicken. Obviously, I understand perfectly well how strong professional networks are essential for journalists, especially in today's media landscape. I have a pretty good, I would say, network of amongst the local journalists here, even within other TV networks. It's a quite fragmented landscape, I would say. But in general, there isn't a media outlet out here in the Philippines that we don't already know or are friendly with. So it's a pretty big and fragmented landscape. But like I said, the value proposition for AAJA Asia is pretty clear. And as a VP, and also something that I've sought to do as a board member, is to balance the big picture with the local needs. So the big picture here is really integrating the Philippines chapter closer with the regional and the global network. The successful chapter, of course, we're going to be measured by the number of whether old and new members that we managed to bring into the fold, but again, also how much we've helped them along, and also whether we've helped raise AAJ's profile, how much we've helped raise, how much we would have helped raise Asia's profile in the Philippines at the end of it. I started off with that, and actually, most of you know who I am, and I'm a familiar face, obviously, but I forgot to introduce myself, which is that I am an anchor here in one of the largest cable networks, and also the business editor. And the I'm also a current board member at large. So it's not clear at this point how, if I were to be elected as VP, how those two positions would coexist side by side, but I guess we'll figure that out later. And also my leadership qualities are transparency, integrity, and partnership. And given that transparency is the first one, I just full disclosure, we are still looking for a co-VP for the Philippines subchapter now that we are starting one, because as I said at start, it's not, I'm already pretty stretched thin. We understand the need and the urgency at this point in time, but I am working on bringing somebody in who could be co-VP with me, and I'm meeting him next week. So hopefully that works out. So got a vision for this subchapter, but also a big part of that is realizing that we need help at this point. So that's what first thing I'm looking to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Regina. So now we got the two new roles that we are going to for the first time that we're going to have the new two subchapters that would include the Nepal and the Philippines. Up next, these are the roles that we need to fill for next year. These are the current roles that that we have to fill. So first we have uh the treasurer. So for the treasurer role, we only have one candidate, which is Jin Ding. But still, this is a great opportunity for you just to introduce yourself and telling us a little bit more about what would you like to do if you become a treasurer. So Jin, take it away.
Hi everyone. Really glad to run for the treasurer position this year. As some folks might remember, this role was open last year, and Tom was elected to this role. As Tom stepping aside from the board at this point, I'm running actually to refill the remainder of the term, which is from this year to end of next year. As the treasurer of the chapter board. I was the national treasurer for 4 years, 2 terms between 2021 to 2024. End of last year, I decided to step back on my national level involvement and ran for the National Advisory Board representative at the Asia chapter level. So I've been serving as we have two national reps at Asia chapter level, and I'm one of them. But at the same time, with clearance of the election committee at national level, we actually allowed that I run for the treasurer position for the remainder term for the next year. My background, I've been in journalism for 15, 17 years, and mostly worked actually in the US. My most recent Asia-related position was a CEO of Initial Media, which I stepped down earlier this year. Right now, I'm doing media consultancy and mostly working with nonprofit organizations in Asia as well as in the US. For my involvement with Asia chapter, I actually joined AAJA from the US side and didn't really know much about the Asia chapter, but always being friends with many members in Asia chapter and being able to attend NewsRecon virtually during the years, during COVID, that I got to learn a lot more about Asia chapter. And I personally feel very passionate about the work and knowing that a lot of members could benefit from our programming, from our trainings, and as well as our scholarships to grow Asia media landscape as well as grow career opportunities for journalists in Asia. But at the same time, I was also a media CEO in Asia region, so I really learned a lot more about business side of journalism in Asia. As the former national treasurer, of course, I know a lot more about finance, chapter finance through that role. But mostly in the past few months, I actually helped Tom to file our 2024 audit statement, and I felt like I learned a lot through that. So hopefully I can do this role well in the next year. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jing. Next, we have the the National Advisory Board representative. This is the only one seat, and we have two candidates. First, I would like to ask Joe Pan to give us a statement.
Hi, my name is Joe Pan. I'm glad to see many of you, and I have seen some of you over the years at N3Con, which I started getting involved since 2013, when I was still in Hong Kong and rotating in Korea as well. A devoted N3Con volunteer rotating through various committees, including partnerships, marketings, and programming. And at one point, I also signed on as the partnership persons and trying to build sponsorships and other partnerships for the N3Con specifically as well. My roots run deep in AAJAs and media management, starting from my days at the local daily and weekly newspaper to the LA Times before I moved to Asia. In 2007, I liked it so much and have been in Asia and stay in Asia ever since. But I do regularly visit the US, attending the most recent three national conference, and which really inspired me to think that there's so much resources that are untapped, and at the same time there's so much we can share and also really bring Asia to the US in a way that not only contribute to the initiatives of the diversity, but really looking at all the voices and the point of view from Asia. And currently, I'm an editor and a producer for Blockwind News. I'm focusing on covering cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I also teach as an adjunct at Hong Kong Baptist University. And so I've been a consecutively elected to the board at Hong Kong Foreign Correspondents Club, which I also got a chance to learn the ropes and how to be part of a governance that can provide and build up transparencies and also accountability. So I'm proud to be part of the AAJA chapter community, and I want to contribute. Specifically, my hope is to really connect the chapter members and find a way, if they cannot attend the national conference, there is a way they can actually still learn from some of the excellent workshops and papers and excitements, and be connected to the mothership in some way that we can really be more connected. And also likewise we can host a lot more things from Asia for the national chapter as well. So I'll stop right here. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Um, just to let you know that we are almost we only have about three candidates left. That will be that will be giving the statements. So if you have any questions for any of the candidates, please feel free to leave that questions in, in the chat box, or at the time that I, start, during the Q&A sessions, you can also raise your hand, turn your camera, turn your mic on, and ask the question verbally as well. So there are two options. If you don't like to speak, with your mic, feel free to leave the questions in the chat box. You can do it now, or you can do it later, but please do it soon, so then I can start preparing those questions for the candidates. You can also have options to raise your hands and speak as well. So up next, we have Nana from Indonesia. She also running for National Advisory Board role as well. So Nana.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Hello, everyone. I'm Nana Rizky, based in Jakarta, Indonesia, and I'm really happy to meet with you all today. And my career began as a broadcast journalist, especially reporter on Liputan 6 SCTV, and then later as a news producer in CNN Indonesia TV. So mostly I work to breaking news, in-depth features, live report or live streamings, and also doing covering documentaries. And also learn how to manage a team in a newsroom and make editorial decision. And in 2018, I joined in Tempo Media Group. So Tempo is the largest magazine that a specialty in investigation and um, politics. And they just have a newspapers and magazine at that time, and I had opportunity to build from scratch to help to build a new division of production media and multimedia there. And in 2021, I met with Rajnish, Regina in the AAJA-Asia Executive Leadership Program as a cohort, and it really became a real turning point to me as to get a lot of knowledge of leadership. So I learned a lot about to being a journalist in newsroom, not only to crafting stories, but about the management, about the how to pitch a good idea to investors, and helping and giving impact to business sustainability. So I learned so much on ELP. And 2 years later, I was promoted as a CEO in TV Tempo in Tempo Media Group. So it is like a subsidiary company in Tempo, and they have a new organization. I took a role to lead the film productions, and especially for all the new IP like podcasts and YouTube channels there. I learned a lot about the business and partnership after I being CEO, and I have a lot of knowledge bring because I gathered training from ELP. I'm also that's why I'm running for AAJA-Asia board. I believe that journalism doesn't stop in the newsroom; it evolves. So after I'm being CEO, right now, I am an independent filmmaker. I'm not yet. I no longer in Tempo again. I'm producer film to Netflix, documentary, and other streaming OTT, and running the business partnership to produce some film to distribute more globally. That's why I believe that journalism doesn't stop in newsroom, and I wanted to contribute that in this media landscape. I'm really ensure that our skill as a journalist can be adaptive in other platforms like films, OTT platforms, AI, or fast-moving digital media. Yeah, that's why if I elected, I wanted to bring my experience and my intersection skill in journalism and filmmaking. I wanted to give my energy and network to help create programs and partnership that keep members relevant in media landscape, more connected and future ready, and also more diverse and empowering women in Asia. That's all for me. Thank you, Mike, and all.
Thank you so much, Nana. So again, I just want to remind everybody that you can start sending some questions on the chat box right now. So then I will have so that I have some time to prepare to answer these to ask these questions to the candidates. Um, you can also have options to ask questions verbally. You know, you can turn the mic on when I give you when I during the Q&A sessions, you just raise your hand. I'll call your name. Then you can ask those questions. Next is the last role that we have. I believe that in this call we only have Chloe here. Chloe is the student from NUS in Singapore. So she will be you know she's going to tell us about, you know, what's you know what would she like to do if she becoming a student rep. Chloe.
Thank you so much, Mike. Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe. I'm a fourth year student at the National University of Singapore. So, I study sociology and political science. In terms of my journalism experience, I used to be an assistant producer at Channel News Asia on the Insights team. Why I'm running for this role is that AAJA has been a huge part of my journalism journey. I'd like to thank everyone here for contributing to AAJA-Asia. Yeah, so I first came across AAJA-Asia through the N3Con mentorship program. So I took part as a student mentor, as a mentorship program. I was mentored by Kosaku, and we wrote an article together. And I got a chance to attend the conference in Bangkok, where I got to speak, I think, to a lot of people here. I got to speak to Shreyas, to Joe, to Mike, and I learned so much through the experiences. So thank you so much, guys. I think coming back from the conference, I really realized how much AAJ Asia has the potential to help, you know, especially students based on my own experiences. So I really wanted to get more involved. So I think coming back, I've been attending, you know, our coffee meets and as well as helping with the recent AAJ Asia Youth Camp, where we helped to organize a day camp for fellow students alongside with Yihui, Mike, and Ping as well. And I think I helped mostly with the ideation. So touching on my own positionality as a student, informing our organizers on, you know, what are the needs of students who are pursuing journalism. And I think that's what I really bring to the table. I also help designing, you know, cute little posters that I think resonate well with Gen Zs, as well as targeting reaching out to my own network of fellow students who are interested in journalism. So I reached out to a lot of my ex-interns as well as my fellow students at NUS. Yeah, so I think ideally I would like to be a co-student rep alongside with Ping, because I recognize that Ping has done a lot of wonderful work, and I think we have worked well so far. So I think it would be really nice if we could work together to be student reps. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chloe. We also have Bin Hong here as well. So he will be sharing us you know a statement. As also, you know, Bin Hong is our current student rep, and then it's going to be his second term if he's elected. So Bin Hong, please take it away.
Yeah, hi guys. Sorry, I told Jules this already. I'm on a bit of a photo shoot right now, so stepping out from the event just to take this call, ergo my background. So yeah, as Chloe mentioned, I'm the outgoing student representative, really helping out where I can with Mike and Yihui in the Singapore. Especially, we just really like to throw my hat in the ring, continue helping out for the next year or so. You know, like I'm in final year in communications in NTU. So I've really seen, you know, the good that AJ has been doing for a lot of the budding journalists like me, and you know the things I've learned, the people I've met, and a lot of my juniors and the people I work with and my startups and everything, a lot of them are always asking me how to start their journalism careers or how to get into it, which has been, and I've experienced this also coming out of JC, that really big gap of no guidance sort of to polytechnic students, to JC students. So been really trying that out. What I've been doing is along again with Yihui and Mike, helping out EntryCon, helping out the latest university camp which we just pulled off, and Chloe was there also, doing a lot of good work there. And I've been for the past year, I've been trying to really pull together the different institutions, educational institutions. So we just got a sort of promotional partnership with SMU. So they're helping us push a lot of stuff out to the students and working on some stuff with NTU and hopefully NUS on allowing them to sponsor locations in their schools, and help allowing all these educational institutions to really know of us and help push AAJ to at least the Singapore scene, which is a slow going, but hopefully I can do more in the coming years and allow this straighter pipeline of a student to AAJ without us just running around and going one by one. And as whatever the new year brings, I'm just really happy to contribute and help out where I can in my capacity as a student with all my other stuff going on, like finding a job or pretty much a career in the future. So yeah, just for your consideration, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody. I mean, it's actually quite amazing that you guys just like right on time. Like I just exactly like I would imagine have like a 20-25 minutes left for the Q&A sessions. So if anybody has a questions, you can raise your hand. You can and ask the questions to the candidates. While we waiting for the questions, I'm going to start asking a few questions. Since for this call, since the national board rep is probably the role that we have uh uh the two candidates here. I just have this one question for both of you. When I rate your statements, I know that you are actually inspired to help the chapter grow, to bring national uh you know activities or initiatives to our Asia chapter. So my question for both of you is, if you want to pick an initiative that you were inspired from the national to Asia chapter, what would that be? So I'm going to start with Joe, and then and then Nana.
Sure, that's a great question. I think part of it, as I mentioned, there's so much resource and there is all the chapters, especially the Asia chapters, kind of operating in silo out there. One of the largest chapters outside of the US with the most memberships. At some point, I think it ranked 2 or 3. But the point is, I think there's so much more we can do in helping individuals chapter or sub chapter to actually go to the main conference. Is for those who haven't been to one, is a life-changing experience if you are a journalist looking not only to network but actually learn the tools and actual cutting-edge technologies and what's the latest. Given what's the amount and the depth and the coverage of the U.S. Conference, but more importantly, I think that this is also a way to align the branding, the strategy, and actually the fact that we can align and be more connected through the actual resources. We can also expand and grow our sub chapter or the Asia chapter as a whole. And so one specific initiative I would love to see is expand our funding and or fundraising efforts to actually fund more sub-chapter members to go to the national conference.
Okay, Nana, any initiatives from the national that would you like to bring to Asia chapter?
Okay, thanks. I'm began from my experience, especially in the film industry. For example, in Indonesia, there are have a very tough media landscape that journalists, many of journalists that laid off, and I'm I'm thinking about the in the film industry itself, it really needs some resources like journalists as a producers, as a researchers, as a story consultants, and giving the impact that it is a bigger industry that really match with skill sets of journalists like us. And I have a thinking of initiatives to get some funding to the film festivals in the site to pitch to investors that the film are really resourceful for the integrity journalists like that, like us in AAJA-Asia, and we will I will pitch that some with a vision like diversity and also with the ethics journalistic and bring Asia stories to more global distributions. I know that there are many opportunity in like film festivals like Busan film festivals or Cannes film festivals and others to pitch our story in film and also gather our resources in the crew list or access consultant list and to get deeper to bringing voices in storytelling filmmaking especially. I'm really specific on that, Mike.
All right, thank you so much. Next, I would like to ask Junie. Junie, if you can just turn your mic on and ask questions to any of the candidates.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thanks to all the candidates as well for stepping up and contributing and offering yourselves to AAJA-Asia. My question is currently to the two national representative candidates, and I suppose we're at this really interesting point in time where journalism is so much under threat, and journalism is being undermined constantly. In the United States as well as in a lot of countries that Asia represents. What can we do, and at this point in time with the situation being like that, what can we do and better done to work more closely with national I hear Joe's suggestion about national conference and free, and we've tried various things over the years as well to try and sort of sync up with national the conference, but what do you all think we can do better to work more closely with the mothership? Maybe
So
we'll
if
start
I
with Joe and then
Yeah,
Anna.
sure. So a perfect example was just the past conference at Seattle. The conference where there is a one particular breakout sessions, including our very own Bradley was there to talk about the coverage not of Asia and also bringing the voice from Asia. The room was packed. I wish I could share the photo, but actually the room was standing room only. And so there is a big demand on the programming side that the Asia chapter can contribute to the national chapter and the voice. And we always, Jean has always done well and others to gather the Asia chapter members when they are there. So for the past 3 years, I see only a few of us who actually represented. And part of the reason, as you point out, and then someone else also noted that there is a funding issue and other. So I think one is the awareness issue. There are a huge amount of content produced every year from the national conference, and there are some of them are on the record, some are not. But however, I feel if we can only share some of the information, even the agenda and the programming, only those who actually attend the conference actually remember or seeing and have access to the app. But I wish every day the amount of information, the amount of wonderful workshops and people, we can only share that as a visibility for the Asia chapter member, they would be more motivated. So number one is communicating the programming and be able to participate in the programming, contributing to on our side. And the other side is actually on the funding side in the past, and I myself as a beneficiary of it, that actually had you can apply the funding to attend the national conference. While without that, I probably would hesitate at that one point. So I think there's definitely we need to reprioritize or our funding or some kind of incentive for a subchapter member to go, and then subchapter can also fundraise or actually send their subchapter members to go. And I would love to see at least one member representing each subchapter going to the national one way or the other. We would find the funding for them. Yeah.
Nana, is that anything else
Okay.
you'd like to
Yeah.
add?
Actually, I'm not really experienced like Joe. Especially I have thinking about the intersection in journalism and filmmaking. But I think that wanted to give the funding to the conference more involved in Asia subchapters to utilize the fact-checking methods to filmmaking. I mean, like the workshop of conference about the fact-checking in the filmmakers and how to being the access consultant or access producers and archive producers to in the filmmaking and AAGA Asia and AAGA in America can we need to submit the funding about them because it will give us more opportunity to give our members to more get the network to other industries instead of in the news or television that's very media window in media landscape. For me, that's all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. I think from Chat G also asked the questions about how the fundraising. I think this is this questions can go to I would say I think some of you already discussed about this of how to bring the national resources to the subchapter. So I'm going to come back to these questions again because we only have 15 minutes left, and there are still some other candidates from different roles that probably haven't had a chance to answer questions. So actually I do have a questions for the student reps. The reason because for this year we only have candidates from our Southeast Asia, Singapore subchapters, and most likely that would be like two of yous could be the co-student reps, and because since both of you, Bin Hong and Chloe, both of you are in Singapore, my question to you is how would you reach out to students beyond Singapore? One of you, Bin Hong, you're from NTU and you're from NUS. What would be your plan to connect students, let's say from Hong Kong or from Seoul or from Tokyo and the rest of Asia? What would you like to do?
Maybe I can take this question first. I think personally, I believe very strongly in having a large network of friends, regardless of my degree in my like the stage of my professional life. I think in terms of touching on my own positionality. So I'm actually half Indonesian and half. My dad is from Hong Kong. So my mom is from Jakarta and my dad is from Hong Kong. So I do have a lot of relatives and I have a lot of friends from these respective countries. I do also at M3Con, I made a friend with a Japanese American. Oh, she's American, Chinese American, but she's studying in Japan. So and I also have a few contacts in Hong Kong as well, also from M3Con. So I do hope that I will be able to touch on these contacts to expand AAJA across borders, as well as Malaysia is so close to us. Yeah, I think definitely it's a bit hard for me to go over there and set up these events, but I think definitely with the internet and how tech savvy we Gen Z people are, we can definitely host maybe more online events that will be more friendly for people abroad. um these digital events I think would definitely be possible through Zoom, through I don't know, whatever online, Instagram, maybe social media, Telegram, can definitely tap on these sources, as well as my existing network of, fellow journalists in these respective countries. Yeah.
Bin Hong, would you like to add anything else from Chloe?
Yeah, so I think for me it's really just sort of along the same lines in which is really just using and interacting with a lot of people and seeing all the students from different countries and everything. But so in my opinion, or like my experiences are all the people I've interacted with from my past stories, my own age and everything. I think even if they're not in journalism or not doing anything like journalism in their different schools, right, it's still a very good in to the different schools throughout Southeast Asia and seeing whether or not there are people who are interested in journalism, even though their faculties or their schools might not have it. Speaking to Myanmar students in Thailand just past month on my reporting trip, a lot of them are like, yeah, this would be something I'm interested in, but I don't quite know um, how to get into it, and my university that I'm going to doesn't have that. So all these small people that may or may not be on the radar, as per se, on how people look out for budding journalists, right? It's a great market to tap into in that sense, and I believe it's also the past student reps like June. I think he's here somewhere. Yeah, I know, but he's in Korea right now, and as Chloe said, entry con the different, great turnout by the different students from different schools. We can completely form this whole network that's not so much just either of us working to push everything, but just bringing everybody on board in a sense to just continue and helping each other, and it becomes a sort of cyclical thing where even if they're not linked in any sort of capacity, that they're not student reps or anything, they can tell other students in their own countries and yeah, eventually, it'll become like more and more people just talking about it out there, which I think is the first step to getting anything done.
Thank you so much, Min Hong. I just read that comment from Junie. I think it's really is a really great tip for any of the candidates who are running the role, especially for those who are running on the subchapter level, which is actually I that's actually quite a very interesting way to kind of ask the two subchapter VP roles that we're going to fill. So my question is going to both in Nepal and also in the Philippines, that how would you actually use AAJA Asia resources, or this role to increase the membership in your subchapter? I'll start with Rajneesh and in Nepal.
Thanks, Mike. I think like the first thing, like it really helped us to get more members when the registration fee for membership was subsidized. I think that's a great initiative, and we really appreciate that. So like we could have more members, and looking at like talking with journalists, it looks that there's more interest in it, and we really want more journalists and journalists who are more interested in professional journalism, ethical journalism, and great reporting to be part of it, so that we could also share the experiences from Nepal to the outside world. I think that this has been a great opportunity for us as well, because we were able to share the Genji uprising reporting experiences to journalists around the world. And I really thank AAJA-Asia for taking that initiative and allowing us to be part of it. So we also want to organize other smaller events in Kathmandu and in collaboration with AAJA-Asia. So we also want to share the Asian best practices in journalism with our colleagues and journalists in Nepal, because training has been a greater need out here, and AAJA-Asia has been able to provide that, like without being a subchapter as well. We were in the Google Asia AAJA-Asia training network, and we have been delivering those trainings to like hundreds of journalists out here. And we were vocally saying like this was supported by AAJA-Asia and with the Google network. So I think we want to continue those best practices out here. And and also try to do something innovation or innovative. Like, we don't want to commit too many things, but like try to be innovative, more experimental, and then have those in, like, listening from them, like what is necessary for journalists in Nepal, and be a breeze in between Asia, and other journalists out here, and do some fruitful events out here. Maybe Pravesh wants to add something more on this.
Uh, Thank you, Rajnish, for explaining in detail. And I don't have to say that much because we both, as both are having this position as co-vice chair, and we both lead the different organization. They are also involved for many years in similar objectives like training journalists, developing knowledge resources for journalists, and collaborating with other organizations who they have resources. And that's why it won't be that much challenging. I think that's why we're very excited in this collaboration, and that's the way how we're gonna work in the coming days. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Because we are almost running out of time, so the same question goes to Regina. How would you like what is your plan to increase the membership in the Philippines?
I have 1 minute, I see, or not. Listen, in the Philippines, it's pretty straightforward. It's really the only way is to, through some good old-fashioned boots on the ground, sustained grassroots outreach. That is really the only way to do it here, and that means getting FaceTime with as many people as you can. The first thing, and the only, and I say that's the only way, is because there still is a lot of misconception, right? Practically every person that we have brought into the fold have said, "Oh, I thought AAJA was only for Asian Americans, or for people who studied in the States, or for people who have linkages to the US," and so on and so forth. So that's the only way that we can get more people in, which is to get, to talk to them in person, in face to face, and explain that, well, no, that's just the provenance of the group, but that's not necessarily how the Asia chapter works. Back in the day, it was a lot easier because we had sponsorships and funding from institutions like Google. So when I was still doing the Google News Initiative trainings, it was fairly easy to talk people through what AAJA, or who AAJA-Asia is. But that sort of petered out, right? Because we've lost the funding, and also we haven't been able to sustain it precisely because of funding issues. So the tricky part here, so I don't foresee that it's going to be a big problem to try to convince people to join, especially, again, as I said, with the subsidized rates. The tricky bit here is to try to source alternative funding, by not probably wholly relying on the Asia chapter for our source of funding, but also looking into linkages and partnerships with other groups, institutions, potentially even businesses here. So that's going to be the challenge.
Thank you so much, Regina. We are, I think that's pretty much it. We are, I hope that, so I just, these questions that, from our audience, and also, from myself, these questions, we just would like to ask, especially on the new roles and the contested roles, because these are very important for our members to know, what would you like to contribute to the chapter. So once again, thank you so much for all the candidates for joining us this morning. Um, and we will send out the election details and the ballots. So please keep an eye on your email inbox. With that, thank you so much and have a great evening.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mike. Thanks,
Mike.
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.